Hi, I'm going to share this blog with you all. This blog was posted to Twitter yesterday, and we had some comments to make on it. There were some things that were inaccurate, and we had to get those things cleared up. A little bit of controversy did come out of that, but the blog itself is positive, and I want to share that blog with you. And you'll see towards the end what some of those controversial issues were. I'll just tell you right now that there was a paragraph in there that blamed Alita Army for the resurgence or the continuation of the Captain Marvel versus Alita battle, and we spoke up and said no, that wasn't us, or that wasn't what we stand for, or what we wanted. And so a little bit of controversy came out of that, but whatever. So moving on, I just want to show you this blog here. All right, it's titled, sorry, I should have been at the, all right, it's titled Alita Army. Did you know there was an Alita Army? And, okay, I'm not sure why I had to scroll down so much, but anyway, I watched Alita on Amazon a few weeks ago. This is what let me get his name first. I'm sorry, let me find his name. Okay, he didn't put his name on here apparently, but here's what he says. Here's what the author of the blog says. I watched Alita on Amazon a few weeks ago. It was alright, nothing extraordinary. I suggest you watch it again, but whatever. Logan's Run meets Born Identity a bit. CGI was very good, plot was okay, but the rest was paper thin. Nothing I would have spent money on to watch at the cinema, so imagine my surprise when I found a huge fan base for it on Twitter, the Alita Army. So he goes on, he asks, who are they? And he has a snapshot of our Twitter account, and he says, well, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? These people love Alita. It is their favorite film. To all the polls and questions about films, they have only one answer, Alita. Which is your favorite one-word film, Alita? Which is your favorite two-word film, Alita Battle Angel? Well, we don't quite do it that much, but that we do kind of stretch it a little sometimes. But we just need, the whole point of Alita Army is to represent Alita, to get her name out there, to raise awareness of her. Right? We were campaigning, we're activists. That's what we're doing, and that's what we've been doing from the beginning. And this is how we got the media attention. Like here, this is another example. This is how we got their attention, and people didn't believe me when I said it, but those movie polls, the Twitter polls, like the Twitter movies, the Academy polls, the what is it, Collider, Rotten Tomatoes, all of these threads that we enter, that we take over like an army, the Alita Army. This is what got the media's attention, and the media will cover it. The Cinema Blend has given the quote vocal fan base a shout out plenty of times. Yeah, at least maybe 2 times at least. Scott Mendelson has made mention of us. He hears from us a lot. Scott Mendelson is from Forbes, and we're international news now. There was a paper in Japan, a website in Japan, I mean, that made mention of hashtag Alita Army. But this is how we did it. This is how we got that attention, because all those eyes, there are so many eyes on those threads. And so when we show up in mass numbers like that, people stop and notice and like, whoa, what's up with this? Who are these people? Of course, you have people calling us bots, and you got people saying all kind of stuff about us. And we have to deal with that. We have to deal with that's not even scrutiny, that mockery. We have to deal with that shade that they throw at us. You can't give in to the trolls though. You got to keep pushing. And so this is how we got that media attention. So those who would say that when those articles that come out and make mention of the vocal fan base or the or Alita Army and they say that it had nothing to do with what we did on Twitter, I will disagree with those people, and I will never stop disagreeing with those people, because this is just another example of what those polls and what our activity on Twitter did. So I can't sit there and lie to people to make them feel better. Now I'm going to continue reading here. He says the film is based on a manga by Yukito Kishiro, which, and actually at this part, no, I keep reading here, which are actually not bad, but as is frequently been proven, not all adaptations work well. In an attempt to achieve a 12A rating, some of the scenes have been turned almost comical and don't have the impact that they should. Yeah, uh, you could probably argue that. Yeah, and I just couldn't get used to the oversized round eyes. However, Alita Army, active on Reddit, Facebook, and Twitter, considers Rosa Salazar, who plays Alita, as their queen. Yeah, if you got that right. uh, and let's say Instagram too now, since we're stretching out into Instagram. There's already a lot of Alita fans there, but there's not a lot of active campaigning on Instagram. But we made an Alita Army Instagram account, and I'll probably show you that and link it at the end. And we're going to start pushing more and trying to reach people on Instagram more, the way we did on Twitter. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I want to try. And I say they're rooting for her to be nominated for an Oscar. Yes, Oscar for Rosa Salazar. I'm not. I'm sure they even know will never happen. It probably won't happen, but we're going to push anyway. If people are recommending Robert Downey Jr. for an Oscar, I'm recommending Rosa Salazar for an Oscar. And not only that, but Scott Mendelsohn has made, as I showed you the other day in the other video, Scott Mendelsohn was probably the first person that I ever saw in the media suggest that Rosa was worthy of an Oscar. And after that, that's when Alita Thornton, who was Adam Thornton on Twitter, said, "Hey, you wanna get this hashtag Oscar for Rosa Salazar going?" And so we started pushing hashtag Oscar for Rosa Salazar. But that was after, I think, twice Scott Mendelsohn had already suggested that Rosa was worthy of an Oscar. So he goes on to say, apart from the possible demand of Rosa Salazar winning an Oscar, what the Alita Army really wants is a sequel. Now the film grossed over 400 million. Okay, we know how it did, and let's scroll down. Let's go down a little bit more to this kind of performance. This kind of performance wouldn't really make Disney, who bought Fox, loosen its pockets for a sequel. However, this does not compute with Alita Army logic. Some of them have watched the film 26 times at the cinema, and some of them, like Dennis and Zensui, have seen it well over 100 times, like 118 times, things like that, just to keep it from being taken off. Others have bought many, many Blu-rays, as you can see, and I got another shipment of Blu-rays in from Dennis the day before yesterday, and I'm expecting one from Bozilla 4 as well. And eventually, I'm going to buy some more Blu-rays too, but I'm kind of in debt right now. I got to get my credit card paid off. Let's see. All in an effort to send a message to Disney that a sequel would be worth it. Who knows? Disney might listen, or Cameron could take it somewhere else. And that's what I'm hoping he will do. I hope he'll just take the movie to another studio, because I don't want Disney to. I mean, it's going to be hard to compete with Disney, because Disney, I think, is going to have a movie coming out almost every quarter soon. But I would rather have Alita in Cameron's full control than have Disney attempting to to squeeze. I don't know. I just don't trust Disney. I just say that. Okay. I just rather have Cameron go elsewhere with the movie or with the sequel. So scrolling up here, we have some of the tweets shared by the account. I'm just going to continue going down um, to this part where he goes over some of our fan art, and he says that this is some of the best stuff to come out of the Alita Army. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff on. We share a lot of good stuff there, but okay, here's where things got controversial. Let me just pause to make sure I'm still recording here. All right, I am. Okay, here's where things get controversial. Some people, of course, have put out some artwork about Captain Marvel, but see, here's the thing. People are free to like or dislike whatever they want. People are free to make whatever artwork they want. But they have to understand that what the Alita Army was meant to do was to be we were intentionally trying to distance ourselves from that, right? Because we wanted to promote Alita and things like this. This is the perception that when people think of Alita fans, this is what they see. They see Alita versus Captain Marvel. Because you have to understand that for someone on the outside, they're going to get their information from the media, and not just that, but just as a third party, an outside observer, when they look at Alita fans, if they constantly see this rivalry between Alita versus Captain Marvel, that makes the entire Alita fandom look very petty. Not only does it make us look very petty, but it lowers Alita's image in their minds because they would have to be thinking, is their character not good enough to stand on her own? Is their character not compelling enough that they can love the character without hating on something else? And Alita Army was proving for the longest time that Alita was worthy to have a fan base. He was worthy to have an army. And that was for at least the whole entire summer, we were accomplishing that. And we were getting media attention. And of course we had the haters who were still saying, no, you just hate Captain Marvel and haters just being trolls basically, but trolls are going to troll. Those people, we reach the people who we can I'm going to use a parable here, a Christian parable about the sower who sowed seeds. He threw some seeds, and some fell by the wayside, some fell on hard ground, solid ground, and some fell on fertile ground. Now, the seeds that fall on fertile ground, of course, are going to spring up and they're going to produce fruit. It's going to become something. But the seeds that fell on by the wayside were devoured by the birds. The seeds that fell on the unfertile ground or the solid or the hard ground just were instantly scorched by the sun and just were destroyed. So we're not going to get everybody, right? We're not going to convince everybody to become an Alita fan. There are some people who simply will not, give Alita a shot. That's the fact of the matter. But if we're poisoning our message with hatred and constantly attacking something else, then even the fertile ground that would accept Alita, that would give her a chance, even they will reject it because of the person who is giving it, right? Because of the person who is planting the seed. So we are trying to be the best example of an Alita fan that we can possibly be. That's what Alita Army is. That's what we're out here doing. So there are other fan bases. There are other groups who are more known for protesting. There are other groups who are more known for fighting against something else. And that is the Fandom Menace. Now, I'm not throwing shade at the Fandom Menace. I'm just saying that they have more of a reputation for protesting than Alita Army has ever asked for. We're just a pro-Alita movement. Some people, however, refuse to let us be that. Some people refuse to let us not be the Fandom Menace. We don't want to be the Fandom Menace, but some people refuse to let us be our own thing. Anyway, third-party observers see this. The media sees this. And this is what the image of the Alita fan becomes. In spite of the fact that Alita Army has been fighting for months to get rid of this image. So the bottom line again is people are going to create the art that they want to and say the things that they want to and hate the films that they want to. But all that has ever been asked is that you don't use the hashtag when you do it, because this is a positive movement. Alita Army is not Alita versus Captain Marvel. This is not Alita Army. This picture that you're looking at right there is not what Alita Army wants to be. So you really don't need the hashtag if you want to do that. I'm not even sure why it's such a problem, but some people just must have it. And if you ask me, it's for the clout. That's all it is, because it wasn't ever a big deal until we started getting media attention. Now I'm going to continue reading here. Like any other fan group, Alita Army seems to have among their membership a few who are not always nice and are in danger of giving this otherwise innocent group a bad name. These members chose to ridicule and humiliate rather than accept that not everyone shares their passion for the film. They were critical of a Guardian review of the film, but more aggressively, they forced a journalist to apologize for mocking the fan base. Okay, that was us, all right, but that wasn't exactly how it happened, and the writer hasn't corrected that. I asked him to, but he hasn't corrected that yet. What happened was, most of you probably already know, with the incident with the journalist, was that she had approached us for an interview, right, on Twitter, because it was after the Academy thread that, so after the Academy thread, we got her from the Wrap. She's from the Wrap, and her paper also appeared on Yahoo News. She approached us for an interview, so we talked to her. But my stance was that I don't want to talk in private to the media because I just don't trust you all. I think you're going to smear us. So that's a no from me, right? And some people were willing to do interviews with her. I was not. It turns out that someone looked at her profile and found a tweet that was mocking us. I told her that I would never bring it up again, but sometimes when you have to discuss these things, you have to be truthful about matters and not be too cryptic. You gotta. So I would never bring it up and throw it in her face again. Basically, I'm not going to go back to her and be like, "You said this about us." I'm never going to do that to her, right? Because we're on good terms now, and as far as I know, she still follows me on Twitter. But so somebody found a tweet in which she had called the Alita Army evil, and they brought that tweet up. And so that's when a few of us were like, nah, definitely no, we're not going to do this interview because this is a setup. That's what we thought. This is a setup. And I put out a video saying not to talk to her because it looked like it was going to be a setup, so don't talk to her. And so she found that video, and the next day she contacted us again on Twitter and she said she was in tears. She said she was crying because she was hurt by that video. And at the time, I was still skeptical. I thought she was just trying to be manipulative, so I didn't give into it. And she posted a video to Twitter in this big, huge debate we were having. And believe me, I had people in the Alita Army who were coming at me, telling me I was wrong and how I shouldn't have made the video and stuff like that. But I was standing my ground. But just believe that not everybody was on my side. And so she posted a video in that conversation, in that debate we were having, and she spoke to us, and she said that she was sorry for the things that she said. It was stupid. She shouldn't have said it, and that I forgot what else she said. But from that video, I feel like I got a really a good idea of what was actually going on. And she's a young person. And young people, sometimes anybody can say stupid things that they don't really mean and they regret later. And so I saw that video and I said, okay, you know what? I know who you are now. I'm sorry about what I did too. And I took the video down and I told her again that I would never bring it up to her again. And we were going to bury that hatchet. And so that's what we did. We made up. And I told her that she was welcome. I was like, hey, you're welcome among us as a friend. I'm cool with you. There's no beef between us anymore. And that was squashed. But of course, the Independent, that hack journalist, Adam White, was watching all of this. And he decided to use that whole incident to put out a hit piece about us and call us alt-right and this and this and that. And we got, I got some some support from Bounty Net to Comics to try to fight that, and we did an interview with One Angry Gamer. Anybody who would listen, basically. We also contacted Midnight's Edge and Cosmic Book News, and also I tried Cinema Blend as well, but not everybody was. I think it had been pretty much covered, so they didn't really go forward and continuing to help us out. But we also wrote letters to the Independent, and eventually I did hear back from the Independent, and they said that it was an opinion piece and there's no mandate for balance or whatever, and telling people sides of the story. Basically, they were saying that yeah, it's a hack job, but as long as it's opinion, we didn't do anything wrong, basically. But moving on here, that's what really happened with that incident with the journalist. And not everybody, unfortunately, that is still out there. People still think we attacked the journalist. People still think we drove her off and made her cry and all this other stuff. I mean, they don't know the whole story. Okay, I'm going to continue reading here. It says, they are also behind a ridiculous comparison in battle with Captain Marvel, pitting Alita as a better, stronger female alternative to Carol Danvers. People are free to have that opinion. I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, but from what I have seen, I don't think that Captain Marvel is a better character than Alita. And I'll say that. I don't think Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers is a better character than Alita. I don't think the movie Captain Marvel is better than Alita. But I don't need to always bring that up to get people to watch Alita, because there's plenty of good that I can say about Alita that can sell that movie without ever having to bring up Captain Marvel. Plenty. But for those who have that opinion, you're free to have that opinion. Many of us have that opinion. And I'm not actually against a lot of the people who have that opinion. So there's there's not this thing where you can't criticize Captain Marvel. That's not the case, because I'm neutral. I'm not going to really attack Captain Marvel for no reason, and I'm not going to defend Captain Marvel for no reason. I'm all about Alita. So those who have that opinion, or those who want to go at Captain Marvel, the ask has always been, do it, but do it without the hashtag. And if you do it anyway, just understand that you're continuing something that's not beneficial to Alita, and also you're going to get bad negative media attention again. And then this time when it happens, you won't be able to blame the media, because you were the one who put your hand in the fire knowing you were going to get burned, but you did it anyway. So don't blame the media when they jump on it when you do it again. Continue reading here. He says, but these are only a few bad apples who seem to be general haters rather than Alita lovers. So the conclusion I draw, and this is the whole point that I would really like people to remember from this whole article right here. This is it. So the conclusion I draw, regardless of the fact that I didn't enjoy Alita half as much as the Alita army, is the fact that we need more armies like them. And who knows, we might get another season of OA or Daredevil, or get Spider-Man back into the MCU. So he understands our purpose, that we're here just for Alita. And he says we need more like them. I'm assuming this is a he. I'm sorry if it's a she. I'm sorry. I don't know. But the author says this is the main takeaway, and this is why I shared it to our Elite Army account. This is the type of publicity that Elite Army needs. This is what John Landau said when he posted that article that was written by Kylie Harrington, the journalist who I was speaking about earlier. And he said that he loves the Elite Army as they have been known, as they have become known, which was about us. Some people trying to say it wasn't, but it was. This is what they need to see. This is what Cameron needs to see. This is what 20th Century Fox need to see. These are the kind of headlines that we need. These are the kind of media stories that we need. Not stuff about us attacking Captain Marvel. But we need people with platforms saying the Elite Army is a great fan base. The Elite Army is an example of what a great fan base is and what fan bases should be like. We need more like the Alita Army. That's what we want, right? And so we had so from our conversations with him or our comments to him or her to this person, we had a few updates added to the article. And Dennis Wine says the last paragraph is wrong. The hashtag Alita Army was knowingly misused by people, account names removed, to pit Captain Marvel, to pit against, I think he meant pit Alita against Captain Marvel. We have spoken out strongly against it. We were insulted as trolls, gatekeepers, and SJWs, and I was also called a Breebot. and some of this happened on my YouTube channel. We also try to promote the film positively with decency and respect towards other fandoms. And not to mention that we also had videos made about us, and there were conspiracy theories concocted about us saying that we snitched to the media on people and stuff like that, and that we're just basically crazy psycho SJWs and all of that stuff. But anyway, we also try to promote the film positively with decency and respect towards other fandoms. We are a campaign pro Alita, not anti Captain Marvel. We respect them for their love for they love something the same way we do. We are activists who try to create unity for a common goal. And one of my tweets to him was, anyone can like or hate whatever movie they want, but when using the Alita Army hashtag, what they do reflects on all of us. So if they must attack Captain Marvel, do it without the hashtag. Don't drag this movement into it. And that's a really simple ask that for some reason is a lot harder for people to accept. For some reason, I just don't understand why. But at least this is a positive, very positive thing for us, for this person to say, hey, we need more like the Alita Army. And so the last thing I'm just going to show you is this. I'm going to just go back to this once again. This was the article that was written in I think it was late July, early August. Oh, that's the date right there. It was August 8th. Yes, right. So this was weeks after the Alita, about 2 weeks after the Alita Blu-rays went on sale, and the first big kerfuffle or whatever you want to call it happened on Twitter about people using the hashtag to attack Captain Marvel again. And you know that I put out the videos saying don't do it, don't attack Captain Marvel, don't start this again. Nobody's talking about Captain Marvel. There's no reason to attack Captain Marvel again. Don't do it. But they did it anyway, right? But the funny thing is, when this came out and Alita Army got blamed by CBR, I just go down to it and let's see here where it mentions Alita Army, unless they changed it. I don't think they did though. So Captain Marvel, there's a Alita challenge. So let's go down to, well, I'm not going to dwell on that part for long. I'm just going to say that we had, when this came out and the Alita Army was blamed, guess who was blamed for the article being written in the first place? Not the people who attacked Captain Marvel. The people who said don't attack Captain Marvel got blamed by the people who attacked Captain Marvel. As strange as that sounds, I was accused of snitching to the media. or not accused, but it was insinuated that I had something to do with this being written. Right? And so, it's strange that people blame us for this when we were the ones saying don't do it. But anyway, this is what happens though when you go after Captain Marvel. These are not the headlines that Alita Army needs. So the whole thing has become about who is responsible, right? Who is responsible for this being written? This is the thing that we're asking right now. Is Alita Army responsible, or are certain individuals responsible for it? I don't believe anybody who associated with Captain Marvel, or associated with the Alita Army, Anybody who associated with Alita Army from months ago, knowing that they were just here for Alita, should have to take the blame for this. I don't believe anybody who came to Alita Army as a Captain Marvel fan should have to take the blame for it. And this is the problem that some people are having right now. There were people who said, don't attack Captain Marvel. And so when it comes to who takes the blame for it, people are insisting that everybody take the blame for it. Even those people who said don't attack Captain Marvel. And I don't believe we should. I don't believe we should have to. So whenever the question comes up of who did this, who went after Captain Marvel, who did this, who did that, I'm going to say it wasn't me. And I don't care if anybody gets upset about it. I'm going to say it wasn't me. I told them not to do it. Other people told them not to do it. Because we didn't want this. Alita Army didn't want this. So if that makes me a gatekeeper for saying that Alita Army is not anti-Captain Marvel, or Alita Army does not want to have headlines like this about us attacking Captain Marvel, then so be it. I'll be a gatekeeper then. I'll be an SJW. I'll be a troll. I'll be a breedbot. I'll be all of those things. I'll be crazy and saying all the names that people are throwing at me. But the bottom line is, I said don't do it. Therefore, I'm not taking the blame. I refuse to take the blame. I'm not going to share the blame. I'm going to be clear and say I had nothing to do with that. And I don't care if that pisses people off, because it's true. I had nothing to do with this. So when these media outlets, once again, say that Alita Army did something, the Alita Army started this, I'm going to say no. Yeah, of course the media struck first. We know that. The media struck first. But nobody was talking about Captain Marvel. Just like now, nobody is talking about Captain Marvel. We have the power to make sure it stays that way. We have the power to make sure people talk about Alita and not talk about Alita versus Captain Marvel. That power is entirely in our hands. So for those who start that bull crap again and get media attention, you can't blame the media. That was you. You put your hand in the fire again. So try to let that rivalry die. Let it die and let it stay buried. Don't dig it up again. And if it does get dug up again, I'm not taking the blame with you. I'm not doing it. You go down by yourself. That's how I feel about it. So sorry if that pisses anybody off, but actually I'm not really sorry. So anyway, thank you all for listening. I'm going to end this video here because it's going long. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.